This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, whole family nutrition.
Fast food was all part of that coffee generation training where it was okay to just go through a drive-through, get your coffee, of course, but then just slam a burger. And that just sort of silently swept through our culture. And now it's far more the norm than not that people will just eat unconsciously, barely chew, do it on the go, in the car, whatever. And yet this is one of our foundations to health. This is one of the most important foundations. We are what we eat and absorb. Mm-hmm. We also are what we don't digest and ferment. We become those toxic people.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
Really interesting. And it's only been in my lifetime, Dave, that popular press is starting to recognize the folly of the 40s, 50s, and 60s here in America, which was, doesn't really matter what you eat. And there was literally a nutritionist for the New York Times named Jane Brody, and she literally said, doesn't matter what you put in, whether you put in fats and starches and sugars and it doesn't matter. The reality is, oh yes, it does. Because if you look at what ferments versus what doesn't ferment, that would be the decisive issue. So, things like simple food.
It's not just calories in, calories out. That's a
and
way
she was
too
saying
simplified.
It was. She was saying it was, and I'm like, oh no, I've come too far already. So even things like, there's a ton of arguing these days about, is it okay to eat meat? Is it not okay to, that's a whole nother great conversation. So let's say you've decided maybe to avoid glyphosated grain products in America, and you decided to convert from eating GMO-fed dairy and GMO-fed beef to maybe grass-fed beef. And then people go, oh, no, you should be a vegan. But the reality is not everyone can thrive as a vegan. Certain blood types are doomed to fail with veganism. So then it becomes, okay, how do we individuate? The good news is we're in the information age. There's actually a great book out called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. People can go and see what their blood type is. And that's also funny too, because when I got into this field, people knew their blood type. 40 years ago, if you asked someone in your age group, what's your blood type? They knew. Today, nobody knows. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Maybe your mother knows.
I know. I don't know my blood type, honestly. It hasn't ever come up.
And it makes sense that if you understand how blood types originated, that the diet would be individuated to each type. So blood type O, which is my type, is the oldest type on the planet. And that's the blood type of the hunting, gathering, tribal Homo sapiens. Did they eat meat? They ate meat. Or fish or shrimp or lobster or crab or mussels. Did they eat, tubers and vegetables? Yes, they were gatherers. They would pull up, roots and gnaw on them. So that's what their diet was, basically. When agriculture started and people started the earlier forms of corn and the earlier forms of wheat, as that integrated into the diet over many generations, it actually changed the blood from the O, hunter-gatherer blood, to the A for agriculture. Because now the diet had literally changed. Now, what did that mean? It means that instead of being completely nomadic, those people were around the same area, tending to the land, year in, year out, and then growing larger and larger communities. So as agriculture developed more and more specialization, and now we've got all these different grains and all these different legumes, that's when the blood type B popped out. And then the last type to evolve is the AB blood type. That's actually the rarest blood type because it's the most recent blood type. Those are the only people, in my opinion, and lots of white paper on this behind me backing it up, that actually can thrive being vegans. The others will experience nutritional deficiencies being vegan. Can you make it as a vegan if you have a blood type O? Maybe, but you'd have to take a lot of supplements, and some of those supplements might not be vegan. So there you go. So it's very fascinating, but the reality is, if you slow down everything and go, what matters the most is my state of mind when I'm eating. What matters the most is because I'm chewing everything. After about 20 minutes of starting to eat, my brain is going to know that the meal happened. So if I'm chewing slowly and it takes me at least 20 minutes to eat, which it really should, then we're going to what? Stop overeating. We're going to feel our fullness. We're going to get more related to ourselves, and our digestion is going to increase. Our liver is going to start feeling some relief, which means it can manage hormones and do our circulation stuff better. And we're just going to start to pop into more awareness. And that's what I love about this field is every little thing will add up, but you can never become complacent. I always joke and say, the reason you can't be complacent is because gravity is always gravity. It's gonna pull you down, you're gonna wrinkle, there's gonna be gravity sucking on your body. So we have to keep, very proactive with this. But I think it's also so much more fun today than it was 40 years ago.
Thank you for joining us for the Healthy and Family Show. Visit our website at healthyandfamily.com. That's healthyandfamily.com to see what all the other doctors, experts, and real moms have to say about keeping your whole family healthy. This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, Whole Family Nutrition, and aired on the Goldstone Network. People, Planet, Future.